When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long
Good morning, JoCo Radio. It is a Thursday, the 14th of April. Tomorrow is Good Friday, and we are having a little difficulties getting our first candidate on. So I'm going to be trying to maneuver getting her on and doing all the things I am supposed to do. So please bear with me. I'm trying to get our first candidate on. We're going to start bringing in all the school board trustees in Johnson County, and we're also going to bring on all the city council candidates and before the May 7th election. So we're going to get all of them on and hear what they have to say. And Amber, if you're listening, go ahead and call in. I'm going to try to send you the link again. Okay. My gosh, what is happening this week? Well, I know off the top of my head, we have some Easter egg hunts going on. Excuse me. Throughout the week. I am trying to pull that up. Let's see. All my stuff closed. Don't you hate that? I didn't close everything out, but I just shut my computer down and now everything is closed. So you might have to bear with me and listen to some music first because I am not being able to get all this up. Let me get Spotify going. Yes, you're gonna have to listen to some music, guys. Sorry. Unless I can get her to pop on before then. Gosh, don't you hate this? Continue, log in. Okay, I'm going to put some music on until I can get her on. I'll be right with you. Oh, Tiffany, are you in there? No. I don't know who just logged on. Don't know if that's Amber. I can't tell. Amber, if that's you, you've got to give permission to your camera. And to your speaker.
It's Tiff. Good morning.
Hi, Tiff.
Your guest is not. The guest is not there yet.
Well, she's having trouble getting on. The link is telling her it's not showing up, and I am sitting here trying to multitask and it's not working very well.
Okay, well, I can do it from here, but good morning on this beautiful Maundy Thursday, the Thursday before Easter.
Yes.
It is the day of the Last Supper. For those that do not know what Maundy Thursday means, that's what it is. Yes, it is the day of the Last Supper. So we can talk about that until our guest finds a way. You can resend her the link.
That's what I'm working on right now while you're talking.
Okay, great. Yay. But it's happy Maundy Thursday to everyone. It's a beautiful, thankful Thursday here in Johnson County, Texas. Another day to wake up with feet on the ground. A new day has dawned. Literally.
Yay, we got her on. I don't know what.
Hey, there she is. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning, Amber.
Good morning. Sorry about that. I actually had to do it off my work phone.
It's
That's
okay. It's okay.
Turn your camera sideways.
Like that?
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, good morning. Hey, for all of our listeners who are listening on the radio, please introduce yourself.
I am Amber Dady, and I am running for Venus ISD School Board.
And which place are you running for?
Place 4?
Yes, I
Hold
believe.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have
4.
to check because there's so many of us there's so many things going on in Venus.
Well, let's before we dive into exactly what's actually happening in Venus. I had a conversation with another woman this morning from Venus, who actually works at the jail.
Oh,
So
okay.
I actually learned something new. I had no idea that we had a state prison in Venus.
Yes, been there for many of you.
Yeah, I had no idea. So,
I didn't either.
but we'll learn more about them as the weeks come. I want to talk about you. So, what do you do? What do you have a day job? What is your normal 9 to 5 day look like?
So 9 to 5, I am a property manager. I actually just changed careers. I was an insurance agent for 18 years, and I worked in a couple of different agencies. And then my last one was actually working from home because a lot of insurance companies have gone to home based, and I just decided that was not the life I liked anymore. After about 2.5 years. So then I went back into the workplace, and I am now a property manager over at a storage facility, making sure all of the insurance and all of the stuff like that is taken care of.
Fantastic. So the school board, like you said, there's a lot going on in Venus. And as we're finding out, there's a lot going on all across Johnson County.
Yes.
Concerns with our school districts and parents and teachers really wanting some change. So how did this come about for you? What sparked that interest for you to run for school board?
So just a little bit of background. I was actually on the school board probably about 6 years ago. I did serve a 3-year term. I was actually rerunning and then withdrew myself. I was going through, everybody has personal issues, and I ended up having, just to put it out there, everybody knows me in Venus, so they know. I went through a divorce, and it was pretty hard on my 9-year-old, and I have older girls, so it was hard on them, and I just needed to take some time back to be with my family and help deal with that. I was with their dad for a very long time, so it was kind of just a little bit of a mourning process that we needed to take back. So I've kind of set back for the last couple of years. My son now is in middle school, and I'm a very big advocate for special education. Out of 3 of my children, 2 of the 3 actually have been in the special education department in Venus. And in the last couple of years, the SPED department has not been up to par. There's a lot of things that are not getting done that should be getting done that actually should. There's a lot of things that, not to just sound blunt, but there's a lot of things that could cause lawsuits in the school district if they don't get handled.
Right.
And so I'm a very big advocate for special ed. We have things that need to be done that just are not getting done. Personally, my son's IEPs are not being met, his accommodations, recommendations. And it's not malice of teachers or, anything like that. It's the lack of training, I would say, would be part of that. We have some very, Venus is always a catch-all for very new, very green teachers that just are coming out. They don't have a whole lot of experience. And so they're kind of thrown into things and they're just not taught. Those things just are not taught in a college setting of how to read an IEP or how to handle a child. So those are things that need to be taught by some upper, basically, I guess more seasoned teachers is what I'm saying.
So what's the protocol? I mean, what is the protocol that's being missed in the school district that says, okay, our school board needs to be stepping in and seeing what's going on and make the change? Is there a protocol?
So there should be a protocol. Yes, there should be. So when a student comes in, let's just say with an IEP or an accommodation, those IEPs are actually put on paper. They are sent to all of that child's teachers and said, hey, this is what it is. And I'll just give you an example. My son has on there that he should be small group testing and, if he needs noise canceling headphones, then he can use those for testing. If a student needs to have their test read to them, I know that we have a lot of students and we're fixing to get a huge growth in the district. And so with that being said, if we need to hire more people that can come in and help do those help with those testing or, provide better things, then that's something that we need to look at as a district to help take away some of that burden off of the teachers, where, if we have people in place that can go and do those testings, then that is something that they're there for.
So being that you have been on the school board before, what are some things you think school board members are lacking? It can be across the board at every district. It doesn't have to be specifically for Venus. I mean, a lot of people don't understand the concept of what the school board is really supposed to do. So, since you've been on the school board, this actually is great conversation because you know what can and cannot be done or voted on by the school board.
Right. So, there's a lot of things. A lot of things get brought to the school board. I know a lot of people were like, when just dress code by chance, they're like, hey, that's a school board thing. And that's really not. That's an each individual campus. At least in Venus it is. I know like in Mansfield or Midlothian, some of the bigger ones, I think the school board does take that because they are so much bigger. But, when it comes to hiring and getting more people in to help with day-to-day functions, that can be brought to the school board. And it normally is brought to the school board about how, we need this because, even if we just say, hey, we need an extra aide, a paraprofessional in the elementary setting to help take off some of the burden of, testing or, even just helping with a student just one-on-one if they need that extra help. Though that kind of thing can be brought to the school board, and that's actually something that the school board does vote on. And we try to allocate money and try to figure out how to get money to do that.
Uh-huh. So what if these are some kind of things I'm seeing in our district right now. We have some bullying issues that are being, to the parents, they're being ignored. And honestly, seeing some of the emails being back and forth, yeah, I agree. They're not being met. And so one particular parent, two parents already have taken their kids out of the district, which is sad. And then one parent is still fighting the system and is showing up at every school board meeting. And then we have some parents very upset about a coaching situation. So they're, we've got these parents speaking up, and then it doesn't seem like they're getting anything from the board. I mean,
Well, and
what would your suggestion be if that was you and you were sitting on the board and you had this kid that was coming up every time and speaking and saying, I'm being bullied and nothing's getting done. What can you as a school board member do? I need people to understand what a school board member can and cannot do.
so and the bad thing is when someone goes up to the platform and they want to speak, they get 5 minutes. They get 5 minutes to speak, and basically the school board or administration cannot respond back.
Mhm.
And that's a miscommunication that a lot of people think that they should be able to have banter back and forth, and that's not the way it works.
Mhm.
So, with if that was something happening and I seen that every time, I would go to the superintendent and I'd be like, okay, hey, look, we need to figure out what's going on. Let's pull tapes. Because all schools now have closed circuit, they all do.
Right.
So, there's got to be some sort of proof. And if they can't physically find the proof on the closed circuit, there has to be somebody else that is seeing it. There has to be another student. There has to be, teachers, coaching. There has to be
Right.
somebody, and it cannot just be one person. So in that case, I would want to know why something has not been taken care of. And if, and most schools have gone to a zero tolerance bullying system. So if a child does get caught bullying, there are reprimands that happen. And if those are not being followed, then why are they not being followed? We have a chain of command for a reason.
Right.
And if we're not taking that, and I will say that in Venus, I do know of one high schooler that she actually did pull out in December for it, because the mother could not get any help. And I was like, I wish you wouldn't have done that. You have to go through the proper channels. Just keep fighting for it. Don't just let it go after a couple of weeks, because then nothing's going to happen. If a parent does not follow through, and just like you said, if that parent's up there, I would 100% be on top of the super, the assistant super, and that principal and those principals over at that campus wanting to
Right.
know what is going on.
So, and as a board member, if that's been brought to your attention, you can start looking into it.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So that, I think there's also a lot of misunderstanding where people say, well, the school board can't do anything about it. Well, if a concern has been brought to them, yes, they can't respond, but yes, it is their obligation
Absolutely.
to look into the concerns.
Yes,
And-
absolutely.
and
we are
follow
there
up
because
on
we are.
it.
Yes, we
Follow
are
up
there
on it.
because we are voted on by
Right.
the community to speak for our children, and that's a big thing. I don't think that everyone and I guess this is just me. I don't think that everyone has to have a child in the district to be on the school board. I know that that's not even a thing. You don't have to have that. But I do think that as long as if you have a child in the school district, you know a lot more. You know more that's going on. My son, like I said, he's in middle school right now. He comes home and tells me all kinds of things.
Right.
When my girls were in school, I learned more when they were in school than I ever did from anybody else. Because they are the ones that are there. They hear it, they see it, they know about it.
Right.
So I think that's a huge disconnect on some boards. Some districts don't have a whole lot of people with students inside of the school, so they don't know. They rely on what the superintendent tells them. And like I said, I've been on the school board. I've seen it. I've followed. There's a lot of times that the superintendent doesn't give you everything because they don't think that it might be very minute to them, but it is something very important to say myself.
Correct.
So that's a big thing with me. I think transparency is 100% the only way that we can do things.
Right. The thing is everyone needs to understand that they are elected officials.
Yes.
Um, they're supposed to be there for the the community. For
Yes.
that means the parents, the teachers, and the students.
Yes.
All of them. They're supposed to look out for the well-being of all of them. Um, and so they need to a lot of our board members, I mean, Fort Worth has been just shook up,
Yes.
and it needed it. And
No,
and there's
you're good.
okay. And there's other districts that need to be shaken up too. And I think
Absolutely.
we're starting to see that, especially when I was trying to contact all of the school board candidates and incumbents in the district in Johnson County. Man, I mean, Godly has like 5 running,
Yes.
and
And
theirs is a little different because they don't have a place. So there's 2 openings. So the top 2 people and that get
okay.
the most votes will get those 2 positions. So it's a little different. It's not a place. There's a couple of and that usually happens
Yeah, the smaller
in the
districts.
smaller districts, even though most people would think Venus is a small district too, but
Well,
you
we
know,
are, but we are not.
right. So, I mean, y'all are probably wide as far as rural, and
Yes.
so that it's y'all aren't all clumped together, and that's
Right.
probably why they think, oh, well, Venus is a small little town. It is, but it's not. So, but that's something that I think. I mean, even the school board member in Fort Worth that made the comment, um, uh, at one of the things when he was being addressed and he wasn't looking at him and was reading a book. That's so disrespectful. And I've
Very much.
actually seen that in our district where the school board wasn't even looking at the person talking. And that is so disrespectful.
It
So
is very
disrespectful.
much.
And it needs to stop.
It does.
Y'all again are elected officials. It you've
And I
got
will
to
say
show them
that now,
respect.
and I will say that because a lot of people also do not know that when we get our agendas, when the agendas come out, we get the agendas. They come out on your email. We look at them. We get blue hyperlinks, so we get to go into more in depth of what each agenda item is. So I
Mhm.
will say that sometimes when I know I did it twice, I had a lot of notes and I did not have pen and paper, so I was writing notes down on my
I
phone.
do understand that, yes.
Yeah, and I did do that, but I also tried to actually print them for myself so I would have them there so I could just be like, okay, hey, look, I do have this question. But yes, 100%. I do agree that we have students that come up, and I've seen it 100 times, that we have people that just look down. They just look down
Mhm.
at the table. They don't address the student. They do not say, thank you for coming in. They show no emotion and they show nothing at all. And I think that's disrespectful, and that is very much showing our students, and even because we have a ton of students that actually watch our live stream.
Right.
So it shows them that, hey, look, we don't have to pay attention, and we don't have to do it.
And we're telling them to listen to their teacher,
Yes.
and the adults that are sitting on the board aren't doing the same
Text
for the
message from Todd Heard. Sorry.
It's okay. So, we have about 3 minutes before the break. Amber, is there anything that you would like to address before we go?
I would just like to just say that, I think that just even in Venus, we have a big disconnect. We have what's called basically in town Venus, and we have something that's called the homesteads, which, like you said, we are very wide. We have a
Mhm.
whole lot of people. 90% of our students and 90% of our groupers, what is called out in the homesteads, which is the 1 to 3 acre lots. There's people out there that just don't. There's a big disconnect. There is where for some reason, I don't know, because everything gets sent home. We have the all call, we have all of that. I'm not sure why the homesteads part does not get brought in. I mean, you could look up the numbers. I mean, we have quite a few registered voters in our town, and we literally have maybe 200 people that vote every single year.
Yeah, the voting
So
is horrible. Get out
it
and vote.
It is. And I mean, even if you don't like me, I mean, and you know what? I've ran the Venus Youth Association for baseball for 10 years. And, I've made some enemies because I don't back down
Yeah.
on things that I don't agree with, and,
You're here.
yeah, I mean, and so I'm 100% in it for the children. Like I said, my son, I'm his biggest advocate, but I'm also the biggest advocate for anyone that needs help or needs anything. So it is just, if you don't want, and I'll put this out there for anybody, if you're worried about going up and saying something, come to me, because you know what, even if I don't get on the school board, I'll still help you.
Right.
Because I will make that fight. I don't have a problem making that fight and helping the parents, because it took a lot of years for me to learn the laws about a lot of things.
Yeah, because there are things that, you cannot address or touch,
Right.
or I mean, I'm fully aware of that, and I know a lot of people are, but there's also a lot of things they don't understand of what the
Exactly.
school board is there for, and what they can and cannot do. So, we've got about a minute and 15 seconds. So let's talk about early voting and election day.
Yes.
So I'm not seeing exactly where. Okay, hold on.
So early
Venus,
voting should
oh,
be at the Civic Center.
yes, Venus Civic Center at 210 South Walnut, Venus, Texas, 76084. And y'all's early voting is April 25th through the 29th is 8 to 5. April
Yes.
30th, which is going to be a Saturday, is 10 to 2.
Yes, ma'am.
May 2nd, 8 to 5. May 3rd, 7 to 7. And then election day. So May 3rd is Tuesday. May 7th is a Saturday.
Yes.
And that is going to be from 7 to 7. All of it will be at the Venus Civic Center.
Yes.
So definitely, guys, it is important for y'all have got city officials also that are running.
Yes.
Venus, get out there and vote. We need more than 200 voters. Come on, guys. Get
Absolutely.
out there, do your research, get out there and vote. Amber, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night. Every Saturday night.
Look.
Miss Dixie,
Look,
how you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys.
Hi,
I just
Mom.
wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
I would
my
rather
God.
have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
Hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love
girl.
you.
I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom. Love you.
Dixie.
Bye. I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JoCo Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
Welcome back to the second half of JoCo Community Radio, or JoCo Vibes. And JoCo Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to the tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The JoCo Community Radio app is now available on for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search for your store. It's actually a really easy tool, actually easier than TuneIn, but you can still use TuneIn. We're still on TuneIn. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-TEX-HAIL.
You're supposed to say it, Nona Reed. That's me.
That's me. A lot, let's talk about that for a second. A lot of people do not understand what I do and what our company does and what insurance company. So here's the thing. Your insurance company will hire probably an individual adjuster normally to go out and look at your roof. And they're kind of working for the insurance company. They're going to give you the information, they're going to do their estimate, and they're going to send it to the insurance company. The insurance company is then going to go through the estimate, say, "Oh, don't need that, don't need this, whatever, da, da, da," and then they're going to say, "Okay, this is
Well,
how
your roofer's going to come out.
Well,
your roofer's going to come out, give an estimate. Then your insurance
not always. Not always.
Well, no,
I mean,
sometimes the insurance company will send their in-house adjuster first.
Right. If you already know you have damage, then you have called your insurance and they're going to send the insurance adjuster out. If like our storms that we just had, roofers were coming out. So it could be different ways, but anyway, the quote gets to the insurance adjuster. I mean, the insurance, and this is what they say they're going to give you. Sometimes 99% of the time, it is not what you are entitled to or owed. So it's not enough to cover what all you need covered. So that's where our team comes in, and we can do free estimates. And then if you decide to go with us, then we do the battle of working with the insurance company to get you more than what you were quoted in the beginning. So that is the difference between me and a roofer or, your insurance company.
Yeah, and so that people understand that a little bit deeper, it's not saying that, oh, you're getting more than you should from when your insurance.
Uh-oh. I think what she was trying to say, hopefully she'll come back on, is it's not like we're saying, "Oh, we're going to just go for the policy limit and you get all the money." But here's the thing, what happens is the quotes and the estimate. Oh, there you are. I really hate to speak for her without her, because I might be saying something different than what she's saying. But for instance, we've got a 5,000 square roof and they're only paying 30,000 for your roof and other damages. Probably is not going to cover everything, especially with the material cost right now. So here's the thing. If you most of the time, if you cash that check that is sent to you, you've kind of rendered any negotiations. Now, if they come in and find other damages, that's different. But if the cost without extra damages goes over what they've given you and you've cashed that check, then you are going to have a hard time fighting them. And that's where you need to call upon us. So, okay. Let's talk about, I did get finally the Easter egg hunts up. So, man, I don't know what was going on with my computer. It was like I closed it last night and everything was open. And then when I opened it up this morning, everything had closed. And so it kind of put me in a, a little panic mode. So Burleson actually has like 3 different Easter egg hunts going on. We've got the Aqua Egg Hunt, which all these are going to be April 9th, which is, oh, I'm sorry, these are way past date. There we go. I've done that all week. I have made this week last week. I just realized today's the 14th. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on actually this weekend let's go with Cleburne. In Cleburne, they've got at the Plaza Theater, we've got Oliver, and then we have, of course, some Good Friday services going on. There's an Easter egg hunt. It's a community-wide Easter egg hunt. Let's see, the largest Easter egg hunt in Johnson County is April 16th from 2 to 4. Bring your baskets, over 25,000 eggs. There will be a special section for the younger cowpokes. Several different sponsors. And let's see, it's going to be at the Chisholm Trail Museum, and it is free. Again, that is Saturday, April 16th from 2 to 4. So that's something going on in Cleburne. There's our Tiffany. Oh, I swear. Yeah, I swear.
hearing an echo.
I do not know where my brain is this
You're
week.
okay.
That is no, I've done that like 3 or 4 times, even scheduling people.
I know.
My
Well,
brain has been 1 week behind.
there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot going on. You get your
I'm sitting there yesterday working on all of this what's going on this weekend so we can talk about it today. And it's all a week behind. So I'm terribly sorry. I'll get my head on straight sometime. So some upcoming events in Burleson. I'm trying to hit some of the bigger towns right now. Let's see. I think all of their Easter egg hunts and stuff were last weekend. So I'm not seeing
Yeah, they did the
anything this
big-
weekend.
It's so funny because I actually saw some
Sorry.
adults asking, "Hey, can adults do the Easter egg hunt too? Is it free or do they charge the adults?" I thought that was kind of a cute question. So I just hope they had fun with it.
Right?
But
right?
there are multiple church services tonight for Maundy, Thursday. So check
All
your
right.
local church schedules if you're new to the area and find out what they have going on tonight
I know
all across Johnson County.
Yeah, Russell Farms is doing a family fun circus at the farm on Saturday from 12 to 5. Let's see if it's for autism.
Wow, you're dressed for like straight up summer. And I'm like, oh,
I know.
can I hang on to the 70s as long as I possibly can? Is like where I'm at. Like I'm not ready for sleeveless clothes. I mean, I'm wearing a light sweater. It's nothing heavy.
Yeah.
You know, the back is open. So
Right.
I look crazy because I'm wearing that, but it's super light.
And I'm
But yeah,
sitting
you're
here
like
in a
sleeveless, but it is hot in here this
sleeveless
morning.
and a hot pink. Well, and I had a little pressure. So I'm really hot right now. But the
I muted you.
the one at Russell Farms is a free event. So bring the family. It's in celebration of Autism Awareness Month. And there's going to be hay rides, food, art, games, mini trains, vendors. So again, it's noon till 5. And if you're not sure where Russell Farm is, it's on 405 West County Road on 714, Burleson, Texas.
I haven't been out there in a while.
I know.
I haven't been out there since, like the last kids' class trip out there.
To
be honest.
Last time I was out there was when some of our girls were in middle school and one of the girls had our birthday party out there. That's been I mean, they've been out of school for 3 years now.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
I have to say, I just want to say, because I was on part of the call for this morning
Yes.
with Amber joining us, and she was very refreshing
It was.
and very
yes.
knowledgeable on her school district and what's going on in
Yes.
Venus. So I'm looking forward to possibly talking to her again before the election. I think she's very just very helpful in general, that if you have questions about school boards, to have someone who's a former school board member
Right.
be able to talk very openly about their previous experience as a board
I think
member,
that's wonderful.
right?
Right.
So
And,
I just thought that was very refreshing that she was able to talk to us like that.
it was probably the best thing to step down for a little while. I'm glad she did. And,
Well, I think that's really, I think the part about that is that, there is a time and place for people to serve.
right.
And whether it's a volunteer school board position, volunteer city council position, there's a
Right.
time and a place. Once you're on, it doesn't mean that you have to serve forever.
Ever.
And it may be that you're wanting to jump on and even get some experience
Mhm.
in the political realm or in the school district realm, so that you can serve in another
Right.
area.
Mhm.
And so I'm saying that because I think sometimes people feel obligated to run for
Keep running.
reelection
Mhm.
versus going, okay, you know what? I served my term. I've served in a capacity that I could, but I'm very aware that I can't do it for another
Right.
3 years or another 2 years. That it's okay to step down. It's okay to say, I got to take a breather. There's so much going on in my life right now. And, maybe I'll come back and serve at another day, because
Right.
there's nothing to say that you can't serve again.
Correct. And
Sometimes
we
I
have
wish there
to
were. Can I have a tissue?
a lot.
Sometimes I wish that there was that feature, but at the same time, it's just a place and a time and a season for. I mean, we're all always in some sort of season, and I think it's okay to recognize that. And I just really appreciated that about Amber, to say,
Right.
and to be very forthcoming. I was going through a bad divorce. It was rough on my child, and I needed to focus on her. So
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
Especially since, look, they're not paid positions.
it's
Or if
volunteer.
they are, they're like dollar amounts, 5. So, it's not something worth doing for 20 years of your life either. You know, you also need fresh eyes in there, because sometimes you get kind of stuck in your, oh, well, this is how we've always done it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes fresh eyes need to be in there.
I
So it's
think
okay to
fresh.
step out of the realm. And even if you want to come back later after you've taken a couple of years off, then that's fine.
I think fresh eyes are always important, whether you're stepping into a volunteer position, a new position within in a corporation, whatever the case may be,
Right.
volunteerism in general.
Mm,
Fresh eyes, a fresh voice brings fresh ideas. And what if those ideas take what your goal, your ultimate goal, to the next level?
right.
Because I've heard this multiple times. I've heard it when I was serving on the chamber board here in Burleson. I heard it there.
Mhm.
I've heard current city councilmen in multiple cities, Burleson included, say there's nothing wrong with the way we're doing it. We've been doing it this way for 18 years. It's not
Right.
broke. And so you'll hear that repetitively, where people go, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if you're not recognizing that it's broke,
Mhm.
then you don't want to fix it. Or if you do not want to do the change, if you don't want to do the work to create proper change
Mhm.
for something that's growing and changing, you're lazy. You've been
Yeah.
you've been in that position too long, and you shouldn't be there.
And 9 times out of 10, what they see is not broken. It is broken.
Right. Well, again, but that
Yeah.
comes down to someone who
Right.
doesn't want to recognize that some work has to be done.
Right.
You don't get on to an elected into an elected situation so that you can become status quo and just be a yes man or yes woman and
Right.
check it off. That's part of the problem we're seeing in the school districts, on the school boards. That's why you have so many people running right now. They're fed up. They're ready to stand up and speak up and to say, no, you're not just going to go into executive session
Right.
whenever you feel like it because you don't want to discuss it in the public. That's something I want to have. I wanted to ask her, but I was losing my connection. I wanted to ask Amber about, what she thought about the process of the Open Meetings Act in Venus, if there was any issues with that in the past. And I have heard that there's been an issue with that on several city council boards. And I know of one in particular that's actually been called on the carpet during a meeting saying, this isn't a matter for
Right.
executive session. This is on the agenda and needs to be discussed out in the open meeting.
Right.
And that goes the same for school boards. And I think right now, in a lot of these, there's no one to put them in check. When you're serving together for a certain period of time and you become friends and there's a friendship there, then you tend to protect each other.
Right.
I've actually heard a former city councilwoman say that we all stand together. We should be together. No, that's not what city council is. You're not a team. You're individuals who are there speaking up and standing up for the people, not for each other up on that council. I've heard it said multiple times too, with the city councils as well, saying things like we should come to the meetings and have a unified vote, a unified decision. No, you should not. That is not your job. And if you're coming to a meeting with a unified vote, that means you've discussed this already, which violates the Open Meetings Act.
Correct.
Same thing goes for school board.
Yes.
Same thing goes for school boards. I don't care what county you live in, what school district you're in, what city you live in. That's the rules.
Right.
That is, if you think that your purpose for running for a board or a city council is to become besties with all of the other councilmen or all the other school board members so that you can have a unified decision, then you've missed the boat as to why you were elected into that position in the first place. You're not there for each other. And to have powwows and to hop onto planes and fly off on trips together, to go have drinks together, to have a secret quorum so that you can all agree on stuff, so that your meetings can be super fast, right? So you can get in and out really fast, and be done with it. You don't want to have discussions in the open meeting. You don't want to hear people's opinions because your time is precious. Then you've missed the boat and you belong to not be on that board anymore.
Correct.
And if you're watching these city council meetings and if you're going back and watching these school
because
board
they
meetings,
are not live in Burleson.
And they should be live. I mean,
know.
Venus is live streaming their school board meetings. Mansfield live streams their school board meetings. Right. Fort Worth, there is no reason why Burleson should not be live streaming their meetings, except that they don't want to hear from you.
Correct. And that's another thing.
And if you don't think that's true, and if you don't think
you
that's
need
true,
to start listening. You need to start paying attention.
Start showing up at the school board meetings, and you will see what we're talking about because they don't want to hear from the parents.
And I want to point this out,
or taxpayers, by the way.
I also want to point this out. So, out of all the all of the cities, we have multiple people running for school board. Okay. In Burleson, I know there were 2 applications, me being one of them, and they both were denied. And they were both from previous educators. Now, the denial on mine was not really, it wasn't a denial. Secretary of State already ruled it should have been voted on, that I should have been on. The other one, but
can I talk about yours for, talk about yours for just a minute?
Hold on one second.
I'll say who the other one was.
I know. I know.
He was the former principal at Centennial High School, Mr. Neal.
Right.
He's the other application that was
denied.
There
were simple mistakes that could have been fixed.
They could have been fixed.
But they don't want them to be fixed because they don't want candidates against our people.
I've talked
and this happened last year too. So for everyone who's saying I'm crying as the whiner and things like that.
You're poor, pitiful.
Yeah.
You're the victim.
I'm playing victim. I'm not playing victim. This has happened to 3 people. All 3 people
all
that
that we
put-
can, now 3 people that we can see, because
right. We don't
the school district is only supposed to keep 2 years of candidate applications. So I have to keep some things in perspective for those who are calling Nona a victim and just talking BS on social media, in groups where she can't even talk and respond because that's the kind of wimps that
because
they
they have
are.
me blocked.
Right. They won't talk about it openly because they don't want to have a real conversation. Like, they don't want to call in here and have a real conversation and ask the real questions,
Right.
because they don't have the guts to do that. They want to hide in groups on Facebook and make it something that it isn't.
And have someone speak for me
And-
when he doesn't know
and here-
anything about me.
And here's what I'm
and
going to
the
say to
story.
that. If you want to understand how this process works when someone makes an error on an application running for city council, school board, any of that, call your city secretary.
Right.
Email Amanda Campos in Burleson. She'll be glad to answer your questions for you. Call the elections administrator for Johnson County. They will also answer these questions for you. And they will tell you that, wow, that's so odd that the school district the elections administrator didn't just simply pick up the phone or send an email to the candidates, say, hey, can you correct your form really quick, using the excuse that it was the deadline. I'm going to tell you that I know for a fact, because I talked to these election administrators from the county and cities, who say, that's weird. I just call them and have them bring in a corrected form. It's already been submitted. You're just submitting a correction. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It doesn't mean that she's a victim. It just means that she's saying, this is how much I want to serve.
Right.
And you want to damn someone for it.
Right.
You want to damn this person who wants to step up. Where are you people sitting in your little private little groups, chitty chatty high school bullying type of crap that you're doing publicly versus stepping up yourself to serve your community? You ain't got the balls to do it. That's why. That's why you're sitting there and you want to break people down and bust people's ass, because you don't have the balls to go and serve yourself.
Right.
Whatever your excuse is. I mean, for one of them, he can't serve in Burleson because he doesn't even live here. But he sure does have his damn nose in everybody's business.
Everybody's business. And he was the one who spoke for me. He doesn't know me.
Sorry,
and he doesn't know the story.
I guess I just had to let that out.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, there is a deadline. It was April 8th. It was February 18th at 5:00. It doesn't matter if I came in at 4:55. I still met the deadline, idiot. Sorry.
Okay,
I'm
calm
sorry.
down.
But
listen,
but wait a minute. The school district and they all, no matter who they are, they have 5 days to call me and say, there's a mistake. What they did is automatically hired a lawyer.
They also did not inform
So people
you,
don't understand that.
and they also did not inform you, nor did their attorney, their hired attorney, not their internal attorney,
Yes.
which is also their elections administrator. They had to go and seek an outside counsel instead of using their already paid for counsel to instead contact you and say, hey, by the way, you still have time to meet the deadline to do the application for a write-in.
Yeah.
No,
or
to
do
do a
a
write-in.
write-in.
And they
Well, they
didn't
could have even had me fix it.
they didn't
but-
inform you that either. It's just so simple. And when you see these kinds of things, take your damn blinders off.
Right.
And see the writing on the wall. This is a school district that does not want someone to run for the board that they did not themselves handpick, because you want an agreeable board. You want someone that's going to say, yes, I'll just mark yes where you want me to mark yes. And if you don't think that that's the truth, I mean, wake up. I don't care if it's Nona running. I don't care if Mr. Neal was getting back on there or any other person that wanted to run. It doesn't matter who. What if it was you?
Right.
What if it was you?
And
And
there was a young lady last year that was pretty much
and most people who get contacted
rejected too.
right, and most people who get contacted from an attorney, unless you really understand what you're getting, it's intimidating. And that's intimidation. That's
Oh, yeah.
intimidation. These are people that Nona worked with. This is a
for 16
This
years.
is a superintendent who knew and who I have considered a friend, and you've considered a friend. We've had very friendly conversations with him for multiple years.
Yes.
There's no reason why they wouldn't have called you up and said, hey, you got to make a quick, fix to this, or file an application for a write-in ballot.
Correct.
That's not what was done. And shame on you, Mr. Jimerson. Shame on you to the rest of the staff that sat by their sides and let this happen.
Mhm.
Shame on you.
Not just to me, to another candidate,
Right.
which is also a previous educator.
I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna add to this too that I forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it. All right. I'm gonna shift gears.
We
because
only have a minute, so
I'm
minute
gonna
and a half.
I'm gonna shift gears here for a minute because again, it is Maundy Thursday. It is the day of the Last Supper, and then Sunday is Easter. So happy Easter, everyone. I know people want to go out and do egg hunts and bunny stuff and all that, but just remember that it's about the cross and it's about Jesus and his resurrection. The focus word of the week is seek. For everything, there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. OMG, how about that being the word?
Right.
Focus tip. This week, remember to seek God when you are prioritizing your schedule. Ask him, is this a glass ball or a rubber ball? And then listen and go to his word for your answer. He longs to guide your steps. So focus word of the week is seek. Happy Easter. Do not seek Easter eggs. Seek his love and give love to others. It's the best way you can share the story of Christ, is to love one another. So happy Easter. God bless. We'll see you back here next week.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes.